everyone. It's technology expert Burton Kelso with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Gave you a sneak peek of what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about how to transfer information from your smartphones, from your old smartphones to your new smartphones. Everyone knows that it can be a pain in the butt to transfer all that information from your devices. It's almost as bad as getting a root canal, something I've never had before, thank God, but it's a challenge. I've had challenges moving from smartphone to smartphone and tablet to tablet, and one of the challenges is that we've got a ton of data on those devices, and we want them to show up on our new devices. So what can you do? Well, let me show you some quick tips to help you make that transition a lot easier. We're going to switch screens like we always do and take a look. All right, so there's the image that showed up earlier. Goof on my part, but that's okay. So it doesn't matter what type of smartphone you have. You can have an Android or an iPhone, and there's only two types of phones out there, so don't be confused. Either you have a phone from Apple or you have a phone from Android. But it doesn't matter what type of phone you have. If you have an Android or an iPhone, you've got a ton of data on it because we've all gravitated to our tablets and our phones as far as how we use them in our lives are on these devices. And it's just hard to make sure that you have everything when you switch to a new device. So, there are some steps that you need to do to make sure that everything's going to get transferred. So, the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you are backing up on a regular basis. That's right. Backing up your smartphone or tablet is critical. And it's that crucial step to make sure that you're going to get all that information back. Because when you're switching phones, it doesn't mean that you just want to go out and get the newest and shiniest device. Most of us are switching devices because something bad happened to our old device. And that can be a problem when it comes to switching to a new phone if you can't transfer all those photos and apps, text messages, and all that other stuff, addresses that you have on your old phone. So backing up is critical. And there's several ways that you can back up on your smart devices. Now, if you've got an Android phone, you can definitely use Google to back up your phone to Google. And it's pretty darn simple. And you probably don't even realize it. When you got that Android phone, they probably gave you a username and a password. So if you have a Gmail address, and if everyone has one, and you have an Android phone, it's probably your Gmail address is associated with that Android phone. So what you need to do to make sure that you're backing up is to go into settings of your Android device and then click on backup and sync, which will automatically allow that device to sync up to Google. So if your Android phone falls in the toilet or something major happens to it, you can be rest assured that that information is backed up. Once you get a new device, you can just put your Google information in there and it'll transfer over. Now, what about you iPhone users? Pretty darn simple. You can just turn on iCloud Backup. iCloud Backup's probably one of the best things that you can do in order to make sure that your iPhone is backed up. You only have a limited amount of data with iCloud though. Apple only gives you 5 gigabytes, and that's can barely cover this summer's family photos. So one of the things that you want to do is to make sure that you go ahead and pay the 99 cents to Apple and make sure that your phone is backed up. Now, what if you're a frugal Freddy or frugal Frida and you don't want to pay Apple those prices to back up your information? Well, you can also, Apple users can use iTunes to back up your data. Now, iTunes in the form of the application installed on your Windows or Macintosh computer will automatically, well, not automatically, you have to manually back up that information to iTunes on your Mac or Windows computer. But the problem is it's not an automatic backup thing. But if you want to get into the habit, you can definitely use iTunes to back up your Apple device and make sure that when it's time to get a phone, that your information is secure. Now, the good thing about the iTunes backup is that if you get a new iPhone and you haven't lost the data on your old iPhone, you can definitely just hook your old iPhone up to iTunes and back that information up. Now, my solution for backing up your smartphone and, well, make the transfer process a lot easier is to get warm and cozy with Google. Google offers one fit all solution for photos, contacts, emails, you name it. Doesn't matter if you have an iPhone or an Android phone, Google will back up all of that information for you. Uh, and they have two products that will do that for you. Now, for your documents, you can use Google Photos, or excuse me, Google Drive to back up all your photos and contacts. Now, for your photos, for you Apple and Android device users out there, you can use Google Photos, which offers unlimited backup of all your devices. And oh my God, isn't that so amazing that it'll do that? And the best thing about the unlimited backup for photos, it's free. It's so free that even Captain America is happy that that information is being backed up. He's got a twin, and obviously he's behind me. But Google Photos is probably one of the best ways to make sure that you can make that transition from your smartphone or tablet from that old device to a new one. So get acquainted with Google. I know Google's got some info or some gets into your information, but it's probably one of the easiest ways that you're going to be able to make sure that all of your information is going to be synchronized from your old device to a new one. If you lose your device and you've got a Google backup or Google Photos set up, it's just a matter of going out and buying a new device. If you've got insurance for that device, just a matter of going out and getting a replacement device and transferring your information to the new device. Now, what about you streaming music lovers out there? It's easy just to use a streaming service. I know there are some old heads out there that like to transfer their music between devices, and you might as well just stream. Pandora, Spotify, yeah, especially with Spotify, you can create a playlist, and that playlist will follow you wherever you go. So no more hassling with MP3s. Yes, there's a monthly fee, but it just makes it a lot easier to deal with those devices if you set up a streaming service. Now, one of the main things that you want to remember as well is if you do use Google or any other online backup device to back up your phone, remember your username and password. Always, 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 always. Keep it written down so that you can always have access to that data and you'll know how to get your stuff. So hopefully that makes it a lot simple for you as far as accessing your smartphone information when it comes time to transferring it from an old device to a new one. If you set up with a service like Google, iCloud, to back up your smartphone, it's just going to make the process a lot simpler when it comes to replacing that device. If your device gets destroyed, have peace of mind of knowing that that information is going to be easily transferred over from the old device to a new one. And if you just have a new device that you want to set up, you don't have to worry about transferring it from a perfectly working device because it'll just magically download to the cloud. Now, before we close out, I do want to say that Apple does have a transfer process that will transfer your settings from your phone, and Google will do that too, but it's not an all inclusive deal. So, having a backup like Google will make sure that that happens for you. So if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to find out what tech tips you'd like me to cover in future videos. And speaking of videos, be sure to subscribe to myself, Burton Kelso, the technology expert, or my company Integral. There's tons of videos on our YouTube channels that will design or that are designed to help you get more from the technology that you use at home and work. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile, like I always am. And thanks for watching.